Welcome to Tina Tries. Do you have spools that more closely resemble slinkies than usable filament? Well, don't throw them out just yet. This easy to print and assemble contraption can save your wallet and your spools. Next on Tina Tries. Today's files are by Sergio and can be found on MakerWorld. This was printed on an A1 Mini, an H2D, and an X1 Carbon. I used black and white PET G. This print took about 39 hours to complete and used just under 1 kilogram of filament. The only other materials you'll need are some WD-40, a piece of PTFE tubing, and an empty spool holder. As usual, I'll link everything in the description below. Let's check out the build. Here are the printed parts. Let's see if this re-spooler actually works. I have high hopes for this one, so let's get to it. We do not need any super glue for this build. All we need is some WD-40, and we're gonna figure this out like a puzzle. First step is to put the two pieces of the base together. These do have a nice dovetail, so they should slide together. There's a channel here and little grooves on this side. There is a tall side to this piece and a short side. So we're gonna line up the tall side first and slide that on. Then we're gonna make sure that the short side is lined up on the other side and slide it together. And these dovetails should just snap into place. There we have our base put together. We don't want to glue anything on this together. The whole purpose of this is that you can take it apart and store it easily. Next up, we are going to take this short post that has two sets of notches in it, and from the back side, we are going to line it up with this middle hole. This has a nice little hexagonal cutout in it, so this should fit perfectly into that hexagonal hole. So let's line it up and push it through. That is a snug fit. Now there is a set of notches here. We're going to take our large washer. We are going to put the completely flat side against the face of our spooler, and it should just snap into these grooves. So that will hold this post in place. Now we are going to take our wheel that has the little gear on the inside of it, and we are going to put that on here. First, we are going to add some lubricant to the inside of this wheel. That way we have a free spinning motion. And that should just slide right on, like so. I'm gonna clean up the grease on the outside of the wheel here. Then we are going to take our small flat washer. We're gonna put a little bit of lubricant on the flat face of this, and then we're gonna snap it onto the little notches in front of the wheel that we just put on. And I'm gonna wipe away the excess grease here. Let's see. All right. So now that spins like so. Next step is we are going to take this threading gear. This has a little moon shape on the top that moves back and forth. It has a hole right through the middle here that we are going to thread a piece of PTFE tubing through later, and it has this little fin on the bottom. So this fin fits right in to the groove on this ledge in the middle of the spooler. What we need to do is put some grease on both sides of the fin here. We're gonna insert it into the groove in the middle of the spooler, and we're gonna move it back and forth a few times to make sure that we have lubrication all the way across that channel. Just sets in there, and then you're just gonna slide it back and forth a few times. We are going to push this threading tool off to one side, and the next step is to take this threaded rod wheel, and this goes through the top holes here. These holes are two different sizes. We have a large one and a small side. That way you cannot put this in backwards. So the small side obviously goes here and the bigger side will go here. As you push the rod through, you want to lift it up a little bit, slide the gear over so that it lines up with the channel, and then you're going to slide all of it together into the small hole on the other side here. So now when this wheel turns, that little gear is going to move back and forth. All right, so there is a notch on this end of the post here. We're going to take our smallest horseshoe shaped pin here and slide that on to keep this in place. I am going to add a little bit of grease to that pin. That way it spins freely. That's working very well. Next up, we are going to put the feet on the bottom here. So there are tiny notches right here that match up with the notches on the outside of our frame. So these are going to snap on with the bulk of it being toward the middle of our contraption here. And these should just slide into place. There's one foot. And there is our other foot. So now we have both feet on here. There are optional TPU feet that you can print and fit into the circles here that will keep it from sliding around on the table. I am not going to print those this time because I don't currently have the capability to print TPU on my printers. Next up, we are going to put the square peg into our handle. You want the handle to be facing away from the body of the spooler so that you can crank it. This piece has a little arrow carved into it. You want the arrow to go in to the handle first. We're gonna push it through as far as it will go, like so. And then this slides into the square right here on the big gear. There we go. So now this turns beautifully and our little threading gear is moving back and forth quite smoothly, actually. Next up, we are going to cut an 80mm length piece of PTFE tubing. This is just an old piece of tubing that I removed from one of my printers. Little measuring tape here. Doesn't need to be exact, but roughly 80mm will do. So that's as long as you need it, a little short tube. And what we're gonna do is thread it through the hole here on our little gear so that it's about even on both sides, like so. Next up, I'm going to take an empty spool here and I'm going to fit it with one set of the flanges. So these thread together, one on each side of your spool. So that should be easy enough. So now we have our flanges through both sides of the spool. You want to tighten them up until they don't move. We are going to put this on this side of our re-spooling tool. This will set here. You want to line up the holes all the way through. Then you're going to take the post with the gear on the bottom and thread it through from the front side so that your gears meet up. So there is an edge on the inside here of this gear, and I'm just gonna add some grease so that it has free movement. Make sure your gear teeth are lined up. And then on the back side here, we're gonna take one of our large clips and set that on there. Let's see if I should grease that up at all. That one should be fine. I don't think that one needs any grease. But if you find that it's getting stuck, you can also add grease on the backside of that clamp as well. Now comes the tricky part. So I have this disaster that fell apart as I was putting it into the AMS. The spool that it was on came unhooked and this happened. So I am gonna try to get this re-spooled onto that. However, this flange piece is not wide enough. It is gonna go right through the middle of this. So I am going to thread this up. All right, I'm gonna put this through my spool. Hopefully this will all go in here without getting more of a mess. Okay, And then I'm gonna thread this post through it into the other side. I'm hoping the momentum just pulls it. We'll see. Okay, let's put this clip on this side. Let's thread the end of our filament through the PTFE tube. One thing to keep in mind, you do want your spool to come off of the top as it feeds into this tube. You do not want it feeding from the bottom or you might get your filament all twisted up. All right, so I pulled this through. What I'm gonna do is tape the end of it down to our spool. I'm gonna hold the back of this in place, and then we are going to start cranking this. So let's see if it works. We'll see. Well, it is working. However, I'm thinking there's got to be a better way to do this. Let me see if I can sort of get this onto another spool, maybe not close the spool all the way. That way it's holding on to the paper tube here. And then this is definitely not going to close. However, I will be able to get the flange through here and it will be touching both sides. So I think that would be a better course of action because then we've got both of the wheels turning, hopefully at the same pace, and maybe this will work better. Let's see if that'll work better. Let's try it. Maybe this will make a difference, maybe it won't, I don't know. Yes, there we go. Nice. And we have our spool threader right here is moving back and forth as it's re-spooling it. So it's nicely distributing it on the new spool. Well, I have to say, this is working a treat and it is oddly satisfying and fun. So let's keep going. And we have hit a snag here. All right, so I am almost at the end. I'm gonna take this off and take my empty spool out. There we go. And then I'm just gonna slowly do the rest of this by hand. So toward the end, you're gonna get some twisting, which you can totally deal with, just untwist it. And if you don't feel like untwisting it, you can always cut it at this point too, because let's face it, you've saved the bulk of your spool. That's pretty awesome. And I'm gonna go very slowly because this is the end of my spool and I do not want to lose it. So I'm gonna hold on to that, grab it by hand on the other side, and I'm gonna put that through the holes here to save my end. Next, we unclip the spool, pull the pin out, take my flange out, and there we have our beautiful saved re-spooled filament. So I saved an entire kilogram of filament that was a crazy mess with this contraption. Here is the finished spool winder. This machine is great. It is extremely easy to use and oddly satisfying to work. This will definitely save me a lot of headaches and money when a spool gets dropped or it explodes in my AMS. Here are my rankings for this project. Ease of printing. This one gets a 9. The main sections of the spool winder are rather large, so I recommend using a larger printer. Although the designer does have A1 mini compatible files, which will just require some extra assembly. You don't need an AMS for this print. I didn't have to change any of the print settings that are baked into the file. This project is split into 2 separate projects on MakerWorld, and I will link both of them in the description below. The original file has a single-piece Voronoi style base, but that does not accommodate wider spools. Since my spool had exploded when I was loading it into the AMS, and was not going to fit on a fully closed spool, I used the split base file, which is wider and could accommodate the mess. That file includes only the 2 base pieces and the longer spool pin. All of the other pieces are found in the original spool winder file. In the split base file, there is a version that includes a coupling piece that goes on the bottom to hold the two halves together, so you don't have to hold it down as you spool it. I definitely recommend going that route. It was kind of annoying having to hold that in place while I was winding. I also highly recommend printing this in PETG or ABS or something stronger, especially the handle. Even printed in PETG, this was still wobbly and a bit bendy as I was starting the spooling process. That might be partly because of the Voronoi style. I think if this was a solid handle, it wouldn't be quite as bendy, but it also wouldn't look as cool. If you want, there is a file for printing TPU feet that fit into these holes on the bottom to keep it from sliding around on the table. So if you have the capabilities to print in TPU, I definitely recommend doing that. Ease of assembly. This one gets a 9. There are instructions on MakerWorld for putting this together, and the assembly process is fairly intuitive. The pieces really only go together in one way, so you can't mess it up. Everything snaps together nicely, and it all stays in place while the spooler is doing its thing. Just add WD-40 to all of the moving pieces, and it will run smoothly. This shuttle does a great job of spooling the filament evenly and neatly. Respooling an entire kilogram of filament didn't take long at all, and it was really fun. That's gonna do it for this episode. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any new episodes. Let me know if you have any other practical prints that you'd like me to check out in the comment section below. If you have any projects that you'd like me to tackle, send me an email and we will work something out. I will see you on the next one.